Marcia.
Hi, Steve.
Well, it's all about onboarding today. So we're going to talk about new clients come to us and they're like, hey, I used to have a bookkeeper who came to my office. I put everything into an outbox and they would pick up that stack of papers and they would do everything on site. If I'm going to outsource my bookkeeping to GrowthForce, how does this whole remote thing work?
So there's a couple ways that clients can send us documents or that we can grab documents. The first is, we can set up a dedicated email address, which we do for all new clients, and you can just put that into your scanner. And anytime you receive documents at your office, all you have to do is put them in the scanner and send them directly to us.
Well, that sounds easy.
And then what we'll do is we'll sort them and put them in the correct platform or application that the document needs to be placed in.
So that's anything that shows up there. What else?
So second, you can actually have vendors send information directly to us. So we can send out a vendor letter. They can scan it directly to bill.com if it's a payable, or directly to us if maybe it's a new hire packet or a new job form that needs to be sent in.
And so I remember seeing that letter. I was pretty impressed because it says, hi, my accounting department is in Texas, right? And it doesn't really say GrowthForce. It just says, your company name, Suite 200, 800 Rockmead, Kingwood, Texas.
Yes.
So it looks like you're bigger than you are.
It does.
I know, I would like that. And then what else? What's the third option?
So the third option is we can actually get into these platforms and pull the information directly. So if it's a timekeeping system, we can actually log in and pull the hours into our system.
So if data exists in digital form, you will go in as a user just as if we were on site and grab that and then put it into the accounting system.
You got it.
Now, how do I get access to the Quickbooks file? I mean, if there's Quickbooks was on my desktop, am I going to have the same kind of access to that data?
So there's two ways that we host QuickBooks. One is if you're using QuickBooks Online, we will actually just get access to QuickBooks. So you'll still have access and then your accountants will have access. The second option is if you have a QuickBooks file, a desktop file on your local machine, we're going to take a backup of that file and then put it on our hosted environment, which is Right Networks.
Okay, so Right Networks gives me access to the QuickBooks desktop through the internet.
Yes.
So everybody who has permissions can see it. The CPA, the CEO, and our team.
Yes.
So, but what about all the stuff, right? We do procedures manuals, we do checklists, we have financial reports that we use. How are we going to get access to this? How do we share data when we're in onboarding?
So when you first sign on with GrowthForce, we set you up in our portal, which is GrowthForce Connect, which has a project plan for getting started. So it has the tasks that you're responsible for and also what the tasks that we're responsible for. And with that, we can use it as a collaboration tool to share documents back and forth. And then also, it outlines that plan for the next 90 days. So
you can see where we're at. If you have something that as a client I'm responsible for or my bookkeeper is responsible for, it helps us work as one team.
Yes.
And it'll also send reminders too, right? It was like, hey, you got an email that says I need to get these bank statements over to GrowthForce. If it didn't get done, it'll send you a reminder. But you have to log into a portal. I mean, that's another username, another password.
You don't have to log in. So one of the really great things about GrowthForce Connect is if we send a comment through the system, you'll actually get notified via your email. And then all you have to do is hit reply. You don't have to log back into the portal.
So you can get access to everything through Outlook?
Yes.
That sounds pretty easy. So let's talk about paying bills, right? So I'm signing checks. Are you going to FedEx me some checks to sign?
So we don't actually print checks at our office. We use a platform called bill.com, which allows you as the CEO to log in and approve and pay bills electronically. The system gathers all of the accounts payable documentation and allows other people in your organization to have the approval rights as well. So the GrowthForce bookkeeper would enter those bills into the system. We have an internal person that reviews those bills before it goes to your team.
It's got a scan image.
It's got a scan image, so if you have any questions about the bill, you can pull it up very easily before you hit the pay button.
It also means it helps reduce the risk of fraud, right? You're not going to get the office manager's Verizon bill paid in there with the company Verizon bill.
Right, you got it.
And then what happens? So you get an email on your phone or your iPad or your computer that says GrowthForce has entered a bill. And then how does it know who is the approver? Who's the budget manager?
So we set, during our onboarding process, we go through those checks and balances and determine which bills get approved by which person on your end. And then we set up those rules and preferences inside the system.
But I'm the CEO. I want to sign the checks. I don't want somebody else paying the bills.
So as the CEO, you're the only person that would have access to pay those bills. So once the approval has gone through all of its steps, then you as the CEO can log in and hit the pay button.
And I see it on my phone, who entered it, who approved it, what account code it's going to, and any descriptions along with the scanned image, and I can pay it without having to sign my check.
Right, and the great thing about it is there's an audit trail, just like you mentioned. So at any point in time, you can go back and see, who adjusted that bill and what changes were made. Another great thing about Bill.com is it allows you to actually go in and see if that check has actually cleared the bank, which is nice. So if a vendor calls you, they might say, hey, I haven't received this check, but you can log into the system and say, nope, it was cashed on this date.
And the vendor gets an email saying that the bill has been paid.
Yes.
Right? So that reduces all the calls that come in.
Mm-hmm.
And this significantly reduces the cost, right? Writing a check costs $12.50, right? We did the math.
Mm-hmm.
And this Bill.com gets it down to like $1.50.
Yes.
So that helps save the business a lot of money while lowering costs and reducing the risk of fraud. It seems like it would be more efficient to have somebody in your office, but it sounds like with all the systems we've got in place, you get more control and lower cost and all the information at your fingertips as if there was somebody down the hall.
Right. And in onboarding, we spend that time to look at those efficiencies and see where we can improve upon those processes.
And I love that you don't have to pay for a person and a desk and a chair and the hall just to have them down the hall. We're down the hall over the internet.
That's right.
That's awesome.